I never thought the person I trusted most could become my biggest enemy. My sister Emma and I used to be close, best friends in our own way. But over the years, something changed. Emma landed a high-paying job in finance, climbing the corporate ladder faster than anyone in our family expected. Meanwhile, I chose a different path, working as a freelancer, chasing passion projects but struggling to make ends meet. It wasn't the difference in income that hurt the most. It was the way Emma carried herself, as if her paycheck somehow made her better than me. She never said it outright, but the cold glances, the biting sarcasm, and the subtle digs were always there. Every family gathering felt like walking a tightrope, trying not to set her off or become the butt of her disdain. That spring morning, I woke up to the familiar buzz of the neighborhood, birds chirping, lawnmowers humming, cars passing by on the quiet street. But inside, my mind was restless. Today was the day of our family celebration. Dad was getting a promotion, and Mom had planned a dinner to mark the occasion. Everyone would be there, including Emma. I had prepared myself mentally for the usual tension, the unspoken battle for superiority that Emma seemed to relish. She strutted into the kitchen, dressed impeccably in a tailored blazer and heels, hair perfectly styled, exuding confidence, and a hint of arrogance. She barely spared me a glance but asked, "You ready for tonight?" in that condescending tone she had perfected. "Try not to embarrass yourself." I swallowed the lump in my throat and forced a tight smile. "I'll be fine." The house filled with family and friends as the afternoon slipped into evening. Laughter echoed in the living room, but the air between Emma and me was thick with unspoken hostility. The coffee table held the centerpiece of Emma's pride, a diamond necklace, a family heirloom she wore like a badge of honor. It sparkled under the soft light, worth thousands of dollars, more than I could ever dream of affording. I admired the necklace quietly, aware that for Emma, it wasn't just jewelry. It was a symbol of everything she thought separated her from me. As the night progressed, the tension finally broke. Suddenly, Emma's voice pierced the room. "My necklace. Where is it?" Everyone turned toward the coffee table where the necklace should have been. It was gone. Emma's eyes locked on me with a furious glare. "Did you take it?" I was stunned. "No. I didn't touch it." Her face twisted with accusation. "Don't lie. I know you've been sneaking around, eyeing my things all night." Before I could react, she grabbed my arm roughly, her voice rising. "You're going to pay for this. $7,000. That's what it's worth." I tried to pull away, the sting of her grip burning my skin, the shame burning deeper. Tears blurred my vision as I stood there, humiliated in front of the entire family. Mom and Dad exchanged worried glances, caught between disbelief and the undeniable tension. But Emma's words drowned everything out. "You're a thief," she spat. "And you'll make this right." That night, I locked myself in my room, heart pounding, tears streaming down my face. I had never felt so alone. Emma, my own sister, was accusing me of stealing something I didn't touch. And no one seemed to believe me. How could I prove my innocence when everyone had already made up their minds? The days after the accusation felt like I was living in a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. Every time I tried to talk to Emma, she shut me down with cold looks or sarcastic remarks. The family avoided bringing up the necklace, but the tension lingered like a dark cloud, suffocating any chance of peace. I felt trapped, accused unjustly, isolated in my own home. The pain wasn't just about the necklace, it was the betrayal, the way Emma weaponized our family's trust against me. I wanted to scream, to run away, to disappear somewhere no one would judge me. Late one night, I sat on my bed, replaying the events over and over. Something didn't add up. Emma had been so quick to accuse me, so certain of my guilt. But I knew myself, I wasn't a thief. I had to find the truth, even if it meant going against my own sister. That night, I made a decision. I would find proof. The house had security cameras installed in the main hallways and living room, mostly for safety and peace of mind. I'd never thought to look at the footage before, but now, desperate, I logged into the system on my laptop. As I scrolled through the recordings from that evening, my heart pounded with a mix of fear and hope. What if the truth was hidden in those silent frames? Minutes passed like hours as I watched the family arrive, hugs exchanged, glasses raised. Then I saw it, Emma, walking toward the coffee table, carefully picking up the necklace. But instead of putting it back, she slipped it into her purse. My breath caught. Why would she do that? My mind raced. Maybe she wanted to check the necklace and forgot she had put it away. That had to be it. I rewound and watched again. Yes, there it was, clear as day. Emma's hand slipping the necklace into her bag, then casually walking away. Next, I checked my phone messages, searching for any clues. Among the usual family group chats and work reminders, I found a few texts from Emma to a friend, mentioning something about losing track of it and being so careless. I felt a surge of relief mixed with anger. Finally, I had the evidence to clear my name. But the hardest part was still ahead, confronting Emma. For the next few days, I kept the footage and messages to myself, unsure how to bring it up without causing a bigger family war. Emma acted as if nothing had happened, flashing that same fake smile and throwing thinly veiled insults my way. One evening, after another tense dinner, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I calmly told Mom and Dad I wanted to talk, that I had something important to share. They looked at me with cautious hope. The air was thick as we all gathered in the living room. I connected my laptop and played the video, the moment Emma took the necklace. The room fell silent. Eyes widened. Emma's face paled. Then I showed the messages. Emma's eyes darted between the screen and the family. For a moment, she was speechless. But then, the real battle began. The room was deathly quiet as the video played on the laptop screen, capturing the exact moment Emma reached for the necklace and slipped it into her purse. I could feel every eye on her, every heartbeat echoing in the silence. Emma's face shifted from shock to anger in a heartbeat. She slammed the laptop shut and stood abruptly, her voice trembling but sharp. "This is ridiculous. You're twisting things. I didn't steal anything. That necklace was in my purse because I was checking it. I forgot where I put it. That's all." I took a deep breath and met her gaze. "You could have told us that from the start instead of accusing me and making me out to be a criminal in front of everyone." She scoffed, crossing her arms. "And you think you're innocent? You've always been jealous, sneaky. Maybe you wanted to sabotage me." My chest tightened. The weight of her words felt like a punch. But I held my ground. Jealous? No. I've spent months living with this shadow, being accused, humiliated, and ignored. I didn't sabotage anything. The proof is right here. You owe me an apology." Emma's lips curled into a bitter smile. "Why should I apologize? Everyone already thinks you're the problem." At that moment, Mom stepped forward, her eyes wet with tears. "Emma, this isn't how family should act. We trusted you." Dad's voice was firm. "Emma, it's time to be honest." For the first time, I saw the walls around Emma's defenses crack. Her posture slumped slightly, and she looked away. I didn't mean for things to get this bad," she murmured. I was embarrassed. I didn't want anyone to think I was careless. The room held its breath. "But accusing you like that," I said quietly, "it broke more than just trust." Emma swallowed hard. "I'm sorry. I really am. I didn't want to hurt you." It was a fragile apology, but it hung heavy in the air. The family stared at each other, the tension palpable. The damage had been done. The necklace was found soon after, tucked deep inside Emma's purse. But the real loss was deeper, the rift between two sisters who once were inseparable. As the evening wore on, the facade of smiles and small talk couldn't hide the bitterness beneath. Emma avoided me, and I felt the cold distance growing. I realized then that some wounds don't heal easily. And some betrayals leave scars that time alone can't erase. The days following the confrontation were heavy with silence. Emma apologized publicly to the family, but the words felt hollow to me, like a bandage slapped on a wound that ran too deep. The trust between us was shattered, and I wasn't sure it could ever be repaired. She avoided me at family gatherings, and I found myself retreating too, unable to face the awkwardness, the cold stares, the unspoken tension that thickened the air. The house, once a place of warmth, felt more like a battleground. Mom and Dad tried their best to keep peace, but even they seemed worn down by the strain. Family dinners became shorter, conversations forced. Everyone tiptoed around the elephant in the room, the betrayal, the broken sisterhood. I kept replaying the moment when Emma's confession cracked open the truth, wondering how pride and fear could push someone to hurt their own siblings so deeply. The necklace, the expensive symbol of status and success, had caused more damage than anyone expected. It wasn't about the money anymore. It was about respect, dignity, and the fragile bonds of family. One afternoon, after another cold exchange with Emma, I made a decision. I packed my bags and moved out. The apartment was modest but mine. It was a fresh start, a place where I could heal, find myself again without the shadow of accusation hanging over me. In the quiet of my new space, I reflected on everything, the love, the betrayal, the anger, and the hope. I wondered if Emma and I would ever truly forgive each other. If we could ever go back to the way we were, sharing secrets, laughing without reservation, supporting one another. Some wounds heal with time, others leave scars that shape us forever. But one thing was clear, I would no longer let anyone diminish my worth, not even my own sister. The truth had set me free, but it also came with a price. A broken bond, a family forever changed. And as I looked out the window at the bustling city below, I knew the hardest journey was still ahead, learning to trust again, and maybe, one day, to forgive.